At exactly 7:12 a.m. on a Tuesday that started like any other, my doorbell camera caught something so ridiculous, so beautifully absurd, that even now I find myself replaying it just for the laugh. There she was, Tamsin Crowley, president of our illustrious HOA, dressed for battle in yoga pants and a bicycle helmet, hoisting a tennis court stepladder, still stamped, property of Birch Ridge Tennis Courts, for the world to see, and aiming to conquer my 6-foot privacy fence like she was auditioning for some sort of suburban ninja warrior. I'm not making this up. She was halfway up before my thorn hedge, 3 generations of hawthorn and blackberry, introduced itself to her like a medieval defense system. The audio is somewhere between a pack of Velcro sneakers and a wood chipper, with a bonus. Right as she's dangling there, tangled and helpless, the sprinklers fire up on their scheduled timer, misting her like she's some exotic houseplant in need of cooling off. Honestly, if I'd written it myself, no one would believe me. But let me back up a second so you know how it came to this, because trust me, it didn't start with slapstick comedy. I'm Marcus Hale, the quiet guy at the corner of Birch Ridge Preserve. My idea of trouble is letting my compost go a little too long or reading until sunset in my hammock. I'm not the sort to stir up drama. The backyard's my temple. There's a koi pond I built from scratch, a cedar pergola where I nurse my coffee, and a hedge so thick even the local raccoons treat it like a brick wall. Mostly I keep to myself. Waves and nods. The kind of neighbor who'd return your trash can if it blew into my yard. That is, until Tamsin set her sights on me. Tamsin's the sort of HOA president who's got a holster for her clipboard and the voice of a referee with a lifelong grudge. You can hear her 2 blocks away when she's got a point to make. One morning I get this friendly notice, randomized backyard compliance inspection scheduled for Tuesday, 7 a.m. Please ensure entry is available. It might as well have been a royal decree. I laughed, sent a polite, no thanks, and figured that would be the end of it. Well, apparently, Tamsin reads no thanks as please trespass at dawn. She started a campaign of ticketing that would make a parking enforcer proud. First, it was my koi pond, supposedly an illegal goose magnet, even though nobody's seen a goose around here since the Reagan era. Then it was my compost bin, which apparently had an expressive hue. My absolute favorite, though, was the wind chime ticket. She claimed my wind chimes clashed with the neighborhood acoustic palette. I didn't even know we had an acoustic palette, and if we did, I promise you, nobody consulted me. Her next move? Stalking around my side gate with a tape measure, giving my pergola the evil eye. She called it height hubris in one of her letters, which sounds like something out of a Greek tragedy. Then came a hand-delivered note. Backyard inspection is non-optional per subclause 8C. When I looked up 8C, it turned out to be a printout from some rando's blog. Not even our own bylaws. That's when I decided enough was enough. I put up a privacy screen, fully approved, thank you very much, and tacked up a no trespassing sign right at eye level. Legal, above board, all the boxes checked. Tamsin's response. She invented something called the Green Team. Their job? Root out mosquito extremism in neighborhood water features. The Green Team, for the record, consisted entirely of Tamsin with a sun visor and a mason jar. I'd said no by email, certified letter, even a sticky note on my gate, just to be thorough. So when Tamsin showed up at dawn with her tennis court ladder and a body camera strapped to her chest, narrating like she was on Dateline, I just sat back and watched the show unfold. Subject has failed to comply, she was saying into her camera, initiating lawful inspection. The neighbors probably thought Spielberg was filming a documentary out there. She completely ignored the no trespassing sign, set up her ladder, started climbing, and nature did the rest. The hawthorn caught her shirt like a fishhook, the blackberry wrapped her ankle, and some wayward bougainvillea found a patch of skin that wasn't ready for prime time. She yelped so loud I'm pretty sure the next street overheard it, slipped, and wedged herself right into my hedge like a poorly wrapped Christmas present. Then she called 911, screaming to the dispatcher that I'd set a homeowner-initiated trap. That's a direct quote. Mid-rant, my sprinklers kicked on and gave her the gentle misting she'd earned. All of it, every second, was recorded in high def by my doorbell and pond cameras. First to arrive was Officer Wrangle, who's seen plenty in his years, but I'm betting this was a first. He took one look at Tamsin dangling in my shrubbery and another at me, still holding my coffee, and just asked, "Did you invite her in?" I pulled up the camera footage on my phone and hit play. There she was, narrating her own backyard breach, and then the bramble takedown. Rangel watched, then nodded and asked to see the no trespassing sign, my fence permit, and the emails. I had it all. He gingerly extracted Tamsin. Had to pull out a few thorns, no joke. And then, in what I can only describe as a thing of beauty, cited her for criminal trespass and misuse of emergency services. You know that look when someone realizes they just scored on their own goal. That was Tamsin. But she wasn't done. Oh no. Code enforcement showed up next. Tamsin had apparently called them, too, hoping they'd find my yard in violation. They measured my pond, legal, clean, mosquito dunk receipt ready, my pergola, under the limit by 2 inches, and then, noticing the city property label on the ladder, radioed the parks department about a possible theft. That's when Mr. Riggins, the HOA treasurer, arrived in a bathrobe and flip-flops, looking like a man who just realized his breakfast was about to be interrupted by a lawsuit. He saw Tamsin in the back of the squad car, still picking thorns out of her sleeves, and just groaned. By nightfall, the emergency HOA meeting was packed wall-to-wall, standing room only. Word had gotten out faster than wildfire. Tamsin limped up to the podium with more band-aids than skin showing, tried to rally the troops with emotion to fine me for aggressive horticulture. The treasurer stepped up, cleared his throat, and put Officer Rangel's report and the security footage on the clubhouse projector. It played in full 1080p glory, Tamsin's own body cam narration included. Someone in the back whispered, "Is she trying to rob his fence?" And the place just erupted. Even the city code guy had to bite his lip. When it quieted down, the code officer explained, slowly, so everyone understood, what an easement was, what consent means, and how a thorn hedge is not a booby trap just because someone chose to climb it at sunrise. The HOA's lawyer, who looks like he charges by the sigh, got up and announced that the insurance company had frozen the association's policy pending a full review of Tamsin's activities. You could hear a pin drop. A motion to remove Tamsin as president was proposed. It passed, with the only no coming from Tamsin herself. Another to reimburse me for my hedge and legal costs? Unanimous. And, no joke, a third to ban all HOA officials from bringing ladders onto private property, which got a round of applause and a couple standing ovations. 3 weeks later, Tamsin was in court. She took a plea deal on trespassing and making a false emergency report. The judge fined her $3,200, a good chunk of patio furniture money, and gave her 80 hours of community service, trimming thorny brush along county roads. Poetic, right? On top of that, she was slapped with a 1-year no-contact order. Couldn't come near my fence, pond, mailbox, or, as my lawyer worded it, any object reasonably calculated to enable vertical ingress. The judge even clarified, no ladders, stools, or gymnastic creativity. Tamsin just stood there, mouth hanging open, totally floored. And that, my friend, is how a quiet guy with a green thumb and a stubborn streak outlasted an HOA president who thought the rules didn't apply to her. Funny thing is, after all the drama, folks in the neighborhood started waving a little longer, chatting a little more. Even Mr. Riggins cracks a joke now and then. Sometimes I wonder if Tamsin learned her lesson, or if there's another Tamsin waiting in the wings, stepladder in hand, thinking she's the sheriff of suburbia. So what do you think? Was justice served, or did it all go too far? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me, where's the line between protecting your peace and fueling the neighborhood circus? You ever had a run-in with the HOA from hell? Let's hear it, because I've got a feeling, in communities like ours, the story's never really over.